What's going on, Crystal Palace family? Tough one today, but we live to see another one. Final score was Aston Villa 2, Palace 1. Thank you for joining us for the live match reaction. I'm of course your host T, and got my man Patrick with us. Patrick, what's up, man? Muted, muted.
How like today performance, I'm off. I'm off a little bit. Sorry about
And
that.
look, just a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah, man. Tough one today for our Eagles, as most of you probably saw. However, you took in the game today, um, but we're just going to quickly go over the pros and cons that we saw, and then we're going to bring in our first guest, AJ, on onto the show. But Patrick, let's start with your cons first, being that this was a down game for us.
Uh, Again, poor from set pieces. The first goal was poor. I thought
Mhm.
Kiarte, like last week, very soft. On that corner.
Yeah,
Um, the Luca Kiarte. I like them both individually, but together, I can't
it's
see that
just yeah,
again.
yeah.
It just doesn't work. Doesn't work.
Mhm.
And I the third one would be our wide play. I thought Elise and Zaha. Zaha, besides that shot early, Elise to me, I know everybody wants to keep saying start him, start him, start him, but for me, he's much better off the bench. He just seems to bring a bit that little edge that we need late in matches. But when he starts, he just seems to me that he just doesn't get off the good starts. And I'm not blaming him; he's young, he's 19. But I just thought today he was off the pace. So those will be my three main takes from today.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, naturally, it's what Aiden says here. Set pieces. It's still an issue. I mean, we overall we did defend set pieces better overall. It just happened to be the one issue, the one bad one we had. We ended up
Right.
giving up the goal there. Um, but yeah, I mean, it hurts to see the set pieces. Um, I I'm kind of I'm kind of out on my opinion, still out on the whole Tompkins thing. Um, I wouldn't
But we
say
had
that he.
but we had no choice though. I mean,
Yeah, I mean we had no choice. I mean
no options.
he didn't play bad, but he didn't
Right.
play good either. I mean there were just times I felt like when I was watching, he had the option, he had the ability to put the ball, forward and play the ball forward, and he kind of like
Right.
almost froze. It's almost like he was glitching. Like he
Right.
just didn't know how to do it, you know. And I guess that's just par for the course of the way he's used to playing and the type of center back he is. So that one was tough for us to not have two ball playing center backs in there, and
Right.
then I didn't like the lad. I didn't like the Zaha sub. I didn't like that. I would have. I mean, granted, Benteke has been playing really well. I'm starting to worry that the Edward wing experiment is going to be a permanent thing, and we're not going to see him up top very often.
Right.
And I think in a lot of ways that hurts us in certain ways. I think it would have possibly been a decent change to give him the opportunity to get in there up top and play a little bit and keeping Wolf in. I guess and too as a Crystal Palace fan, I guess it was a little bit weird to see Zaha come out of a game.
Yeah.
But he
We
was
have
on yellow. He was on yellow too. So I do get
right.
that also. So being that he's on the yellow, I understand. I understand
So
it.
we have a backnest WhatsApp chat, and we were just discussing that right now. And a
Mhm.
couple of people was talking about why would they sub him out, and I was saying I had no problem subbing out Zaha. I thought Zaha didn't play well today. I mean, he had that one shot on goal, but just looking
Yeah.
at quick stats, he had 18 accurate passes compared to. I know he played less time than Olise. Olise had 50 accurate passes.
Hmm.
He had 82% pass completion rate. Olise had 88%. He had 3 crosses. Olise had 9. I mean, I just didn't think Wilf was up for the game. And you're right, he had the yellow card. I mean, in
Hmm.
the chat, Terrence makes a great point. He's only ever been red carded once for 2 yellow cards when he clapped the ref against Southampton. I get that, but
Yep.
I just thought even last week he just been off a couple of minutes. It's okay. He's allowed to have a couple of bad matches. He's also allowed to be subbed off. I don't have a problem with that. And he did sub off what he said later on for RU. So to me, I know what you're saying about Edouard playing wide. I'm worried about that too. But
Mm-hmm.
I just thought Wilf was off today, and I don't have a problem with him coming off because he just wasn't up. He wasn't up
Yeah.
for it. He just didn't play well. So
It definitely wasn't his best game for sure,
right.
and
So
he had a few wayward crosses, and that's the thing. I mean, Wolf's a great winger, but he's never been a prolific crosser of
right.
the football, And I think that's part of the difference between a guy like him and Elise. Elise is a very adept
Very good.
crosser.
Right.
He's looking to cross the ball as a winger, and looking for a good pass. I guess that's the difference. He can take guys on too, but he's a very adept passer as well. So those would be my weaknesses. I mean, I do agree with I really don't want to see Luka and Kouyaté play again.
Nah, yeah, you can't see that
because I think they do that because they think, Luka's a pretty good passer. I don't think Luka's a good passer. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. I don't think he's that great of a passer. And
he's better than Kouyaté, but
he's better. I think that's what
right.
it is. Like, okay, well, he's a better passer than Kouyaté, so we can play them together. And it's like, no, because just because you're slightly better doesn't mean you're a good passer.
And he's not. Kouyaté's not a progressive passer. That's what Luka will look to play the ball forward. I was telling my son today, Kouyaté always looks to go sideways and backwards. Even if he's running forward, he will stop and then play the ball backwards or sideways. Whereas at least Luka looks for that forward ball. But again, that's comparing the two. But again, just add the two. It just doesn't work. They're too slow. They're not progressive enough. There's not enough legs in there. I mean, Kouyaté made a couple of really great tackles in midfield, but you don't need both of them in there at the same time. And but unlike other people, I'm not going to slate Luka because I don't think Luka played that poorly today. I just think as the two, they don't play well together.
Yeah, those two together just doesn't work as much. Right. So we're going to get the positives in a second. We're going to bring AJ in here real quick. AJ, what's up, man?
Right, guys. Oh, man. Right. To be fair, first of all, Patrick hit the head nail on the head about Zaha and Olise.
Right.
The whole we were flat. The whole game, the whole team didn't show up.
Yeah, I agree.
Villa dominated us in midfield, crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things I could say that went wrong today. It felt like watching Palace last season. It was madness. So starting with Anderson missing, Tompkins done all right. Credit where it's due.
Yep.
But let's be honest, when you don't have Anderson there, spraying the ball around the place, causing a different threat for the opposition, we could see that he was missing today. McArthur, because I'm sorry, Luka was awful today. He was terrible today. I was hoping he got taken off at half time. He was absolutely shocking today. There was even an incident where Wilf got the first yellow, and he was arguing himself into a second yellow. Where's Luka as the captain? He's on the other side of the pitch with his hands on his hips. He just he didn't do his job generally, and he didn't do his job as a captain today. So I was actually, I mean, if you saw the cheer in the crowd when he came off, that kind of put the consensus for the rest of the team. If the captain ain't leading by example, then the rest of the team ain't really going to show up that much. Yeah. Whereas you got McArthur there that normally is there doing his job, and excuse the term, he's busting his ass for the rest of the team. Wilf was awful today. Second half, we're trying to pull ourselves back into the game, and Wilf is doing a bag of tricks on the wing and not bringing the ball forward or doing anything. So I was actually pretty impressed with the fact that
he took him off.
The manager was willing to take him off and just say, "Look, listen, man, it's got to be done."
Yeah, because it almost felt weird to see him go off, but the substitution it was justified in more than one way.
It's fair because the guy in front of me, funny enough, the guy that was sitting in front of me said to me, "Oh, well, you should have took Olise off." But the argument is, you could have took either of the two of them off, and nothing would have changed.
Agree.
The whole game was flat.
Yep.
Give Villa credit where it's due. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of hurt seeing Steven Gerrard pump his fist at the end of the game, and oh man, just giving him that win. But we gave it to him. We just did not show up.
Yeah.
Benteke, I mean, he wasn't really doing anything. I mean, I know he's been a bit better this season, but I would have argued maybe he should have played Edouard there. I think Olise, as it stands now, at his age and in terms of his development, he is better as an impact sub. It's got to be said.
Totally
Because
agree.
he started today, and the first half he wasn't really doing much. He chucked in a couple crosses, didn't really do much. I mean, it's better. He's been better where he's an impact sub, but he comes on and he's running at the defenders.
Yeah, because he wasn't really
In the
wasn't
first half,
running
he
at
was
guys as
non-existent.
much this game. He wasn't running at guys as much. I did notice that as well. Okay.
It's what we said, man. I'll tell you, man. It was disappointing today. It just felt like the team didn't show up. And considering the weather conditions that we braved to sit in there,
Yeah, to be being
cold,
alive in
watching,
those conditions.
It looked terrible, yeah.
It's like the players just felt a bit of that breeze and just thought, nah, not today. I'm not feeling it today, boys. Like none of them, not one. I mean, maybe Gallagher was the only player I could have said kind of showed up. I mean, Mark Guy got 2-2, good for him. But then even you can debate that, that goal was a bit of a deflection. I mean, by the time Gay scored, half the stadium was empty because everyone was just fed up. Just nobody really putting any effort today. Yeah. And hopefully, and as for the set pieces, boy, I don't know how you're going to fix that, but that's got to be addressed because you're putting on YouTube videos of the team training, everyone's smiling, everyone's laughing, but I don't see no set piece training in any of those videos. And lastly, the referee, awful.
Don't know what I was
just about to bring that one up with this question here.
First Premier League match was today. Why?
Yeah, I heard that. I heard they said
he won't be in the Premier League very long to officiate like that. It's got to be said.
Ridiculous. Yeah, it was terrible.
It looked like it was his first match. It looked like he was a little bit cautious, like a little bit worried about making some of his calls, like whether it be the difference between a red or a yellow. He seemed hesitant.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, even when he gave Douglas Luiz the red card, don't get me wrong, everyone in the stadium kind of sat there and said, nah, it definitely wasn't a red card anyway.
Right.
So from the minute you're making those kind of silly mistakes, that just kind of tells you you're indecisive.
Exactly.
You're supposed to be a referee in a Premier League game. You're indecisive.
Exactly.
And he was awful. Oh, mate, there was like, I think maybe we've been kind of spoiled because obviously due to in the beginning of the summer, it kind of looked like doom and gloom. Everything's kind of, the signings have been good, the manager's been good, the football's been beautiful to watch. But today has been the worst Palace game I've seen all season. We were terrible.
Yeah, that was I would say it was stale compared to what we've seen and how we performed over the past seven matches. It was pretty stale. It kind of reminded me a little bit of how we looked against Brentford earlier in the year. Just wasn't, we weren't at it. We weren't up to it today as much as we should have been. But AJ, I want to say thank you for coming on, my man. I appreciate you tapping in with us, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Keep up the work, man. Hey, listen, it was DR that brought me on, so credit where it's due, boys. Credit where it's due. You guys are doing great work, man. Keep up, man.
Appreciate it, man. Take care, right?
Take it easy.
Take care, guys.
So we talked a lot about the areas of deficiency or weaknesses. Were there any positives that you could see that we could take from this?
As AJ said, I thought Grahey played well today. I had no problem with how he played today at all, defensively. I mean, again, I think we missed Anderson today. People want to talk about how he's not great at set play pieces, but again, the way that we played progressively, looking to play out the back, play long balls to Mitchell, which you didn't see one of those things. You didn't see one ball from our centre half to Mitchell. You've seen that 3-4 times a game when Anderson's playing. So we missed that. And Eze got to play. I mean, that was good to get him on the pitch again. I didn't think he might, I didn't expect much out of him. It's his first game. To see him on the pitch was great. But that's basically it for me. Was great. He played well, I thought. And I thought Eze, get him on the pitch was good. I really wanted to see Houston. I'm disappointed he didn't get on the pitch today. Especially as the manager did make a comment about him. And if he's not going to play today, when's he going to play? Because we've got matches coming up thick and fast now. We've got, Leeds Tuesday, United Sunday, another game. I mean, he's got to play. If he's not going to play, I don't know why we signed him, because to me, he could have made a difference today, I think, because that midfield today was so laborious and it was just poor. And I just thought, I mean, Eze I don't have a problem with Eze sub, but I would have honestly thought Hughes would have been better choice at that time, just to get someone in there that may be a little bit more progressive. But I don't know. Like I said,
I think that the Eze move was, it was both symbolic and attacking. Symbolic because that was the last Aston Villa last year was the last game he
Yeah,
played in,
yeah.
and then trying to be more attacking with
I
him.
get it.
I mean, honestly, I was actually happy to see Eze go in just because
Oh, no doubt.
I wanted to see how that midfield pairing of him and Gallagher would do. I know over a short period of time in a game that you're down by 2 goals, and we may not see a great deal from it, but
Right.
I mean, I thought it was good to see overall. I liked Gahey's performance for sure. I think Tyrick did a really good job on Leon Bailey
He did.
for the majority of the match. Those are probably the things that stood out the most to me.
Not a
Yeah,
positive, but just to defend. I mean, still a lot of comments. Why are people killing Benteke? Like, what did he do wrong today? I don't understand how he didn't get any service today.
I
He
don't
almost
think it
scored.
was. I think a lot of it is just the fact that they didn't get anything from him. But I don't know if you can blame him as much
Right,
either.
that's what I'm saying. But it always seems to me if he doesn't score a goal, people always want to make negative comments about him. I don't understand that. I mean, he's not going to score every single match. I don't think today Benteke is a name you should throw out there. Well, what did he do today? He had that side volley, he almost scored. He had a header went over the bar. He had no service today. It's not like he missed like 4 or 5 chances. I totally get that we didn't score the goals we needed to score, but to bring out Benteke over Edward over Benteke today, it's not a day for that. You want to get on Luca. You want to talk about Tompkins or Kiyate or Olise or Wilf, whatever. But I don't understand the Benteke. What could he have done today differently? He wasn't. He didn't get any. He got no service today.
In watching the game, it's not like I was saying to myself, "Oh, he needs to come out," or "Oh, he's not."
Right, exactly, right.
I didn't get that vibe.
Right, not today.
Now, like I said, I could understand. I could have understood a sub for him.
Right, no problem.
A different dimension because Edouard does bring something different that Benteke doesn't have up top, and that's true. And sometimes maybe I don't. And I did see a comment that said, maybe this wasn't the game to start Benteke. For whatever reason, maybe so. Just because
I would have after the last few games, I would have
started. If you wanted something different, if you want somebody to play with the ball a little bit more at their feet, that's how. I mean, I get that, but I don't think he had a bad game or he should be to blame for our lack of goals during the game. So let me bring Nick in here. Nick, what's going on, man? You there?
Nicholas?
He's probably driving or something.
You can,
okay, you there? Okay.
Yeah. Weird game, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was a bad game.
Kind of sluggish from us.
Yeah, Luca and Kouati, I don't think they should start together. In fact, I thought Luca was our poorest player. But if you look, the player he's come in for, McArthur doesn't stop. He's here, there, and everywhere. It's almost like having 2 players, isn't it? Yeah. And I think either Will Hughes can do that role or get Gallagher to play that role. Again, use Eze in the Gallagher position further up. What do you think?
They definitely put Gallagher in that role when Eze came on.
I wouldn't want to see him back there, though. I like Gallagher getting forward more, but I understand what you're saying. I wouldn't want to put Gallagher.
This needs must, though, Patrick, isn't it?
Doesn't he play a lot of box to box in that position?
He does, but what I like about the Gallagher role this year is that he really gets forward and assists Benteke. I mean, not just physically assisting with goal, but actually he's up there to create chances where when he's playing that deep, he can't get as far forward because the whole point of it is playing that deep is to help out the back four. But I know what you guys are saying. It's needs must, but listen, man, put Will Hughes in there. Put Will Hughes in there.
Yeah.
Put Will Hughes in there. Or Schlapp.
Yeah. Your comment about Will not having as much of the ball as Olise. Well, if they're going to keep passing the ball out to Olise, that's why. And I thought Ward had an excellent game today, but he doesn't overlap in the same way that Tyrick does for Wilf. Right. So we're not as potent on the right-hand side as we are on the left.
because you have to depend on Olise taking guys one on one
Right.
to be effective on the right side because there's no overlap from his right back. So that I guess in a sense, with that kind of being the situation, it's going to be tougher of an assignment for the right wing in our system to have true success.
Yeah.
Because it's so much falls on him alone without support. I could say so. I can see that too, for sure.
I'm going to make two points before I go. The first one, just before Benteke's scissor kick, he was
Right.
pulled down in the box. I don't know if you saw it. Did they replay that? Because I think had Benteke not scissor kicked it, you'd have had a replay of him being pulled down.
They didn't
It's
show it.
blatant.
Yeah, they didn't
No,
show that.
I don't think I saw. I don't think I saw that one. No.
And secondly, in a weird kind of way, maybe a defeat is what we need, just to buck our ideas up because we've had so much, we've been so good that we're kind of maybe overconfident. I don't know. Maybe we need something to bring us down to earth.
Yeah,
And I'm
it's kind of
certainly glad it's happened for a home game, and I'm not going back from Burnley with DR and the car heating on full.
Well,
Oh,
I'll,
toasted.
I'll say two things. One of us on this show right now predict us to finish top 4, and it wasn't me or T.
No,
And
I said top 4 to set from between 4th and 7th.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Still,
Yeah, let's get that fact right, okay?
all right. So one of us thinks to finish top 7, and secondly, we've now got Leeds Tuesday and United on Sunday. So
Yep.
if it is to buck us up ideas, I hope it happens because if we lose the next 2 matches now, we could be, it could be getting a little dicey. But I know what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, you know what I'm saying about we need to kick up
Oh
the
yeah,
bum.
no doubt. I mean, no doubt. I agree.
But we were flat in the middle. We missed McArthur.
Yeah,
Well,
no doubt. Really.
and we need to find a replacement for him. And at least they impact sub. We said that within the first 10 minutes. Will, my son, who's with me now, said to me within 10 minutes, at least they shouldn't start.
I keep saying that. I love the kid, but he's young and he needs, he needs to be, what Vieira's doing is right. Put him in here and there, but to start consistently, I'm telling you, either start Edward or start Ayew. But I'm telling you, he's unbelievable as an impact sub. He's just been brilliant as an impact sub, and as a starter, he's just not as effective. But again, we'll see.
And I think a lot of that too, man. I think a lot of us as fans want to see Olise had the same effect, impact, and success that Barry had last season when he started playing.
Right. I agree.
Because it was kind of like we saw the taste of, and it's like, yo, like this kid's got it. He needs to be starting.
Right.
Eze got in there and kind of like, very much solidified his role to where he was an everyday starter. And I think we want that for Olise.
Yeah, he was. He was though. When
he was 2 years
in
younger
the first half,
than Barry was.
He was right up by the touchline most of the game, though. He didn't come in at all, really. He was hugging the touchline all the time, Olise.
Gotcha.
So that was a bit weird as well. Obviously, he's following instructions. Anyway, look, I'm going to get off. I'm just about to come up to the mighty town of Beckenham, where I was born. Hopefully, are you doing a show after Leeds?
I can't do it, but I think T's doing it. Yeah, T will be on there.
All right, I might call in from Yorkshire because we got a long trip back then. I'll get back about 4 a.m. from that one.
Oi. Wow. Enjoy and be safe trip.
All right, Nick. Appreciate it, man.
All right, take care. Nice to speak.
Right.
Bye.
So, I want to address this question that came in, and I guess it's a good idea for us to look at. So, with what changes would you make going into Tuesday? I mean, it's fast turnaround. There's only going to be 2 days of training, probably one or two.
One.
How he wants to do it.
Maybe Monday, maybe. Right? Maybe not even. Yeah.
What changes would you make going into that Leeds game or match?
You're gonna hate me. So you ready? Schlupp for Luca.
Mm-hmm.
And Ayew for Olise.
I'm not going to hate you.
Okay, good. So the Ayew one, I thought. Ayew one, yeah.
I mean,
and maybe Edward for Benteke. Maybe. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Yeah, because he didn't, but.
I mean, like I said, even I mean, just because a player doesn't start every single game, I mean, there's squad rotation, and you understand that,
Exactly. Yep.
and there are different matchups and things. I mean, I think it would make perfect sense for Benteke to not start Tuesday, just because he just played a full 90 on Saturday.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if you want him to be involved at the weekend, maybe you give him that time on the bench. Maybe bring him in a substitute role where he's not playing that full 90 on his legs again. So squad rotation is important. I could see the IU move happening. I guess part of me just, I mean, I don't know. I mean, can Edouard play on the wing? Yes. Do I feel like, do I not want him to get pigeonholed there? Yes, I do not want him to get pigeonholed
Right.
on that wing, and that's the only place that we see him, because we know how potent of a scorer he is and a finisher he is, and taking that center forward role away from him, I think hinders us more than it helps us,
Right.
in a lot of ways. So I think for me, I definitely would look at Schlupp for Luca, and I would also then consider giving Hughes some minutes.
Yeah. Absolutely. At some point. Yep. Agreed.
And then I will also think about possibly bringing Eze in for another appearance off the bench. I think it's important for him to try and get his legs together. I'm really interested to see what happens with Anderson too. I mean, if Anderson's healthy, he goes for me for sure in our back four. So those are the changes I would make. But I think, and one thing that I don't know if we talked about too much, our press didn't look good today.
Yeah. It was off. It was off.
The
It was
pressure in the
definitely
ball
off.
didn't look too good today, and I think that I think that really trickles down for us performance wise, more than anything else.
Now here's a
If our
crazy
press
comment.
is going,
Here's a crazy comment. I know people talk about Ayu, but one of the things that Vieira has said before, how important he is to the press, and he
mm-hmm.
wasn't there today. So
Yeah,
maybe that was part of it. I'm just saying, that could have been part of it too. I mean, who knows? And of course, McArthur being there also, he's
oh, of
part of
course,
that
yeah,
press because Luca and Kyoto can't press the way McArthur can press. So that could have been it. That could be part of it too. So, but you're right though. The press was definitely off today. They were able to
yeah.
play it back much too easily for my liking. Mings was able to find space. The Cash and Target were getting on the ball way too much
Yeah.
for me, and they would get to the middle, and then you
I didn't
had
expect to concede that much possession to them.
right. I mean, they had Ashley Young. I mean, come on.
It was at one point I saw that it was almost what 63 to 37% in possession. I was
That's
like,
how it
wow.
ended up, by the way. That's what it was. That's how it ended up. It
Yeah,
ended up being
yeah, and it's like
63. It's a lot of
didn't expect to
possession
see
with
that.
3 shots on goal,
I thought it was gonna be closer to 50-50, if anything, like
Right.
at the very least. But
Yeah,
yeah, how bad was the Anderson injury? I don't know, because I feel like I didn't really see anything about that prior to the match.
well, you didn't. What happened was, I know he came back from, international break early with an
Mm-hmm.
injury. No one
Yep.
told us what it was. And then today, I'm assuming it must have either happened during warm-ups today or yesterday, because he
Mm-hmm.
didn't bring it up during the
Nope.
presser yesterday. So it had
Didn't
to
hear
have
about
happened
it.
during warm-up. So I'm hoping it's not but again, it's another hamstring, and with those, you don't know. They can be a couple of weeks, they can be a couple of months. So
Yep.
you got to be careful. So yeah, I mean, it's not great, but like I said, it's going to be an issue. Now we got. I mean, we do have squad depth, but in certain areas we're a little thin. And again, if you're not going to use Schlupp and Hughes, and you're going to play Luca and Kiyata, you're gonna really miss Maka. You know what I mean? So
And if you talk about squad depth, because you got guys like Mateta and Reebok that aren't even making the game, the match day squad.
wow, yeah, exactly. Well, Vito was on the squad today, but he hasn't played and won't
He
play.
hasn't, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
But you
again,
got
you
guys
know
like
what?
them that are guaranteed to make the squad game in and game out.
What
So,
about him starting? I mean, I'm not, I mean, he hasn't. You're right. I mean, Liverpool was last we saw him play. I mean, why not give him a shot? I mean, at some
if you
point. I mean, at
want to talk
some
about
point.
somebody playing progressive, we know he's going to play progressive.
Exactly,
He's a
exactly.
masterful passer.
Right.
I
So
guess for him it boils down to work rate more than
if
anything.
something, right?
It's
Something's
got to
not
be
going.
something like that's because there's something that they're not doing, something that's not being seen in training for guys like him or Hughes to not see hardly any minutes to in Hughes' situation, no minutes at all.
Right.
But we're gonna bring on our next guest, James. James, what's going on, man?
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
All right.
What was I going to say? But actually, yeah, Patrick, you were talking about it there. I think the squad depth is, I think at the back especially,
It's
I
not
think
great.
it's really lacking. Like
Yeah.
if you think about it, if Tyreek Mitchell gets an injury, like
Oh, we're done.
yeah, like
we're
it's
done.
over.
Crap. It is a wrap. I mean,
We're done.
you
Yeah.
could. I mean, emergency wise, you could put Schlupp over there maybe, but I don't
Yeah,
know. Man.
because I think if you look at the way Vieira, especially first half, set it up, it was like a back three, Gehi, Tompkins, Ward, and then Mitchell kind of
Was
acted.
pushed up. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think going back to the squad depth, that's where Anderson would be pinging those balls out to him.
Mhm.
But Tompkins, he just doesn't have the ability or he doesn't have the vision to do that. And
Yeah,
that's
he
fine.
doesn't have the,
but
yeah, he
for the way
doesn't
we
have
want
the
to play.
vision, doesn't have the passing ability. I don't think he has any of that.
Yeah, and people were saying like, because listen, every time we get not a bad result, but every time we don't win,
Right.
we people just look for a scapegoat. Yeah,
Every time.
I'm telling you,
Every time.
Gloom, like, oh,
And
it's
what's it
over. We're
called?
going to get relegated. This is the end. It's like
Today
Yeah,
you've got
yeah.
today you've got you got Luca, you've got Tompkins, you've got Benteke, you've got Wilf. I mean, you could take your pick today. Got
Yeah,
four
but-
scapegoats today.
people
Last
are
week-
turning on Olise now. He was the golden boy, and now he's getting turned on.
Yeah, it's just
Our
one
fan,
week
our
one week
fan base
changes
is
your whole
something else,
reputation.
man.
But
Yeah.
what was I saying? Anderson, yeah, people were saying, "Oh, drop Anderson. We're
Right.
useless from set pieces." But
Exactly.
what was it? When the goal went in? Like, I hate to say it, but it was kind of Tompkins. They acted like Tompkins was going to save us from corners, but
Right.
do you know what I mean? Like, I think he lost his man target at the back post. But
And this is exactly what I was saying. It's like, come January, do you consider trying to bring in a third ball playing center back that in this situation would come in very handy for us in a situation like this where we have one of those guys injured, or we find ourselves making a cup run and we need to have some decent squad rotation at the back. Like, do we consider making that move? You know,
100%.
because we see what happens now in the situation and how the system is affected when even one of those guys is out. So
yeah, and I was actually talking about this for the Wolves game. I was there, and then Anderson dropped on the other end of the pitch, and I was just thinking, like, if obviously Maka's now injured, Maka and Anderson, I think, kind of just they're a whole kind of style of play, and I actually think if one of them was to get injured, which they both are now, it'd be more detrimental than Wilf getting injured. And like how, if we were saying that a year ago, we'd be like, no, Wilf is like
Right.
But I don't know. I think we just those two, Maka and Anderson, really. People don't give Maka credit. Honestly, he gets stereotyped as like some Scottish fucking. Some hard man, like, but he's got such an intricate pass just to feed it to Will's feet, feed it to Benteke.
Yeah,
and he has a very defined role that honestly right now with the squad we have, I don't think there's another midfielder that can truly step in and do exactly what is needed.
Yeah, like were you there for the Wolves game? Ball drops out to him, it like calls for shoot, and then he just threads one right to Wilf. Like,
oh yeah, that pass was because like first of all, the fake shot.
Yeah,
rolls it to his left and slides Wilf in, like that was high quality, man.
Yeah,
but,
honestly.
But James, here's the thing, right? We've got 4 players. They're not Maka, but you've got Eze, Schlupp, Hughes, and Gyro. One of those are a better option than Luca and Kouyaté. That's all I'm saying. I agree with what you're saying. We're going to miss Maka big time, but Villa's got to figure out at some point to try one of those 4, and one of them's got to be able to do not that role, but something that can be more progressive, going forward, etc. than Luca. Because I love Luca and Kouyaté individually, But as a two, they are awful to watch. I've never liked them. Last year, year
Yeah.
before, ever. I can't take them. Can't
Like
take them.
So I
even
think-
like if it's a true double pivot, like a 4-2-3-1,
Right.
like that's the only way. If they're both shielding a back at the back, that's the only way I could ever see them making it work. But even then, they can't play the ball forward well enough.
Right. Exactly.
As because like they're, I don't know, man. Like Luka is one
Gallagher-
of the most interesting holding midfielders I've ever seen
Yeah.
because he's not a destroyer and he's not a great passer. He's not a maestro at the back with the ball. He's kind of like this gray area.
I'm going to say it. He was better with Kabay next to him. He's always been better with a player like Kabay. You know, without someone like Kabay, it's just not. He gets found out.
I agree completely.
Well,
James,
would you
going
lads-
into Leeds, man, what would you do differently?
What would I do differently? I think talking about that hole that Mac has left, I think Gallagher might not like this, but he might have to
Right.
sacrifice his attacking involvements and take up that Maca role and maybe let Schlupp drive forward instead.
Got ya. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because honestly, out of everybody, all the options we're talking about, Connor's the one that can do it.
Yeah.
Connor's the one that has the motor.
Yeah.
That can get box to box. That's a good passer. And I think of all the things that we're going to sacrifice, if it's that, like we're talking about the what he gives us going forward, I think if that's the one thing that we have to sacrifice, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Just because everything else that Maca does is so crucial as being a key cog in the system that if you have to put a guy like Connor there and he may not get as many attacking opportunities, but if you bring in a guy like Schlupp or if you bring in Eze and let them play forward, I don't know. I think we can be almost as good as we were with Maca then, because like I said, I think Connor can do that role.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Eze, I'd say just leave him on the bench. If anyone gives Eze criticism,
for sure.
If anyone gives Eze criticism for over the next few months, like they're getting a slap. Like
I
honestly.
mean, Achilles is so difficult to come back from. Really
We're
is.
so lucky to even have him back.
Exactly.
There's no reason to rush him. I think where we are, I think right now we're at a bonus with him because he just got his first Premier League minutes, and we didn't expect to have him originally until January.
Exactly.
You know
anything we get from him is
So-
a bonus. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think there's any reason why we should be rushing him back for sure. Okay, well, cool. Well, James, man, I appreciate you joining us, man, and feel free to tap in with us anytime. All right.
Appreciate it,
Will do,
James.
lad.
Take
All
care,
right,
mate.
man. Take it easy now.
Enjoy.
All right.
Well, try
All right.
to anyway after that.
All right.
Joe Schlupp, wing back.
He said, "What's the 5-5-2-3?"
Yeah, let me see. That's interesting.
Mitchell.
Jay, interesting, Jay.
At the wing. Well,
Right.
that means that we're gonna have to play one of those left-footed guys on the right-hand side. If we do that,
It would be Guehi would play on the left side of the three, and then Ward right, and then obviously Tompkin. No, sorry, Tompkin would play center, Ward right, and Guehi would play left. Yeah, Mitchell wide. Well, Mitchell Schlupp wouldn't work because they're both left-footed. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I just saw you saying. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it wouldn't make as much sense for having Schlupp.
that'd be tougher unless.
Interesting, though. It's different.
It's still interesting. Still an interesting thing. I mean, I definitely think if you put a guy like Klein in there at wingback,
Right. Oh, there you go. Mitchell Klein would be
or
wide.
eventually,
There you go.
when you get somebody like Ferguson back,
Right.
the system becomes a bigger reality. But right now, with having Ward there, Ward's got to be a part of that back three. He can't be that wingback guy.
Yeah. I think right now it's honestly just figuring out of Luka and Kyoto who comes out and who comes in. Whether it's Schlupp, like I said, whether it's Hughes, whether it's Gyro, it has to be someone with more legs, more progressive, more technical. Because today we were found out midfield wise that too doesn't work, but we all knew that before it started. I get he tries something. Listen, I'm very interested. Listen, Tuesday is gonna come very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So to see what happens Tuesday is gonna be very interesting. So
really
he's gonna make changes. I'm gonna say minimum 3 changes, and we'll see if we go from there.
Gotcha.
So
So, do you think we should be bringing in anybody in January, or thinking about bringing in anybody in January? If so, what position do you think it will come in?
I've said it, and James mentions now. It's the left back I'm worried about. If Mitchell goes down,
Mhm.
we're in a heap of trouble. I mean, yes, we could play, Ward. Yes, we can play Kelly. Yes, we can play Schlupp, but none of them do what Mitchell does. You need to find a on loan maybe a young left-footed, obviously left back that can play the way that we play out the back. Um, and you just said and maybe a ball playing centre half, but that's going to cost a lot of money. It really would. I mean, look how much Anderson. I mean, Anderson Gray he we got on great deals, but
I mean,
having
my
that's
thought,
that's difficult.
the way
That's
that my
difficult.
thought process kind of goes with that, I
Right.
kind of think about it needing to be maybe another young guy who is looking to get more minutes, prove himself. It could end up being in the
Yes.
form of a loan.
Right.
Uh,
Alone would make sense.
yeah,
Right. Get
alone with maybe a buy option. It could be a guy from down in the championship. That we go and snag. But I just think it's important for us. And the thing about it, if anybody can find the right target, I think it'll be Dougie.
right. I
I
mean,
think
in the chat though, I saw someone mention Jake O'Brien. You know, J. Rich Bagaloo in
I
23s. They
mean,
got two players that are learning its system. They're lower. You know what I mean? So, and they're in
he's
our.
playing
We
international
already
football.
have them.
He's playing U21s with Ireland, so
Exactly. So
he's
I
playing
mean,
international.
it's difficult. I'd much rather get the left back cover first, but I
Yeah,
totally get with Anderson, being ropey and not knowing where he is. But let's be honest, he played. Remember at the beginning of the season, who did he play at centre half with a Gray? It was Kiyate. So that's another option. I mean, Kiyate did do that for. I mean, we didn't do great, but he was back there for the first two or three matches. So
because the thing about it is, as I said,
needs must.
especially after seeing Tompkins step in today,
Right.
would you rather have somebody like Kuyate playing next to Guehi, who's just a little bit more of an adept passer? Not great, not even maybe good for a center back, maybe,
Right.
but better, so to speak. But at the same time, like the reason why I kind of worry about him as center back is he has these moments where he just
Oh, no doubt. He's a
he
center.
gets
He's a
soft.
midfielder playing centre half.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
there's just these moments where he just gets soft and
Right.
just like okay when me just dunked on him Burnley, like it was just soft, bro,
Yeah, well,
just soft.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So it's those moments that worry me about putting him at a center half position.
totally get that.
Um,
Totally get that.
yeah. Let's see here. We need yeah, left back, DM, center back. I mean, I think you could agree with all of those. With how we're needing young left back from the lower league. Yeah, I mean, hopefully so. I mean, you get a loan out there to a guy who might be able to help out. Who knows where that could go. So, all right. So, just final thoughts here, Patrick. What are your thoughts going into Tuesday for us overall?
I'm a bit worried from the injury standpoint how the Mac and Anderson are going to affect us. I want to see a reaction on Tuesday, big time. These
Absolutely.
these these will not be easy. I'm watching them now. They're right now it's 0-0 versus Brighton about 30 minutes in. They don't have Bamford, so their attacking threat. I don't think Rodrigo or Rafinha are playing today. I got to double check. Hold on.
Wow, they're missing a lot. Yeah.
No, Rafinha's playing.
Okay.
So I mean, attacking wise, midfield, they have their midfield is very similar to like a Burnley's midfield. They're going to be very physical.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know last week they had the kid from England playing. Hold on a second. The midfielder for England. What's his name again? Give me a second.
Calvin
Sorry.
Phillips.
Phillips was playing centre half last week. A centre back. Yeah, he played
What?
last Sunday. When they lost the game, they lost on Sunday. So because my problem is they have injuries in the back. So my point is that's something we can maybe capitalize on.
Maybe
Maybe
yeah,
with
try to
Benteke
exploit.
or
Yeah,
Edward. So
and
I
think
want
for them
to
having him as center back, they lose a really really good guy in the middle.
in the middle exactly. And that's another thing. So maybe that counteracts that fact. So my thing is now again, I'll say for the last time today, bin the Luka Kiate's midfield to get someone in there with some legs,
Yeah.
control the midfield. Hopefully, Olise if he's playing or Wolf if he's playing, they wake up next week. They're more on it because they've been kind of been quiet last couple of matches. They can be on it, get a couple of early goals against Leeds, and then take it to them. But I mean, I want a reaction because I'm really worried if we lose on Tuesday, then Sunday against United becomes.
Puts a lot more pressure on us.
Yeah,
It puts a lot more pressure on us for sure, because you don't want to be in a situation where you're trying to make sure you're not losing 3 in a row.
Exactly.
9 points.
Right. Exactly.
Because it's a big change. But real quick, I'm gonna let Ahmed come in here real quick before we sign off. Ahmed, what's up, man?
I'm good. Diggy, what about you?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. So, what's your thoughts on what you saw today?
What I saw in today's game was one thing. What I was looking at was the fact that Olise did not at all try to overlap, try to do something when he was having the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And Benteke did not make any runs into the box. I was really disappointed. I was hoping that he could go inside, especially a couple of times when Gallagher made a great balls, but he didn't do that at all. I thought Edward would have been a better choice, especially looking at the number of runs he could have made. He could have stretched them, especially the likes of Mings, because Gallagher was doing that. But there was no one else helping him out. Not Zaha, not Benteke, not Olise.
Yeah, Gallagher did have that one ball that he put, I think it was at the end of the first half, that he put across the goal, and it was beautiful. And Benteke just never moved. And they were talking about, the announcer was talking about, it's like, where's your center forward right there? Where's your center forward
Exactly.
right there?
He should have been into the face, into the goal itself. He did not even try to make an attempt there.
And I think part of it for him is like, out of everything that Benteke does and can do, poacher has never been part of his game. He's never been a poacher, fox in the box type of center forward. And I think a lot of that has to do just with instincts and movement a lot of times. I can understand why you would say somebody like Edward is a better choice there, because I feel like he's going to find his way to that type of ball.
Exactly true. I thought he could have gone with Edward, because looking at the types of centre backs which they have, Aston Villa, which is Konsa and Mings, they are both physically big, so they might not be the most mobile ones. So Edward could have been making the runs at the near post, getting to the ball first, getting a flick on. Anything would have been possible, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Well, cool. So Ahmed, going into Tuesday, what changes would you make for the team?
I would completely change that midfield. I would keep Kouyaté in, but I would not keep Luka in there for sure. Okay. He was having a real bad game.
Change that you make then?
I would straight away bring Eze in. I would drop Benteke also. I would bring in Edward, which will allow both Edward and Ayew also, to be honest, because I think Olise requires a lot of time.
I think that's a good trade-off. Today, if you're going to bring Eze in that situation, you get a little bit of solidity and work rate on the wing if you have Ayew over there as compared to Olise.
Olise, I feel he still requires a lot of time. What the kind of impact he's had, yes, it's good. But the issue is that the amount of time means today he had a very golden opportunity, to be honest, that he could go and prove that he's ready. But to be honest, I never saw him taking on target, defeating him in a one-on-one. He had at least 3 times he had the run on him, but never at all did he try to overcome, get a dribble in, left foot, just take a shot, something, nothing. Every single time he's going backwards only, which was really disappointing. At least with Ayew, you have that work rate. He's pushing them forward, which allows the likes of Gallagher to go through the spaces.
Right. Okay. All right, I appreciate you dropping in, man. Feel free to join us any other time. We appreciate you taking the time to come and talk with us, man.
Great show, guys. Take care. Have a great time.
You as well.
Take care. Thanks, man.
All right, then. Well, that's once again another edition of the live match reaction show. We want to appreciate and say thank you to all of you for tuning in today. Jay, Richard, Phantom, James, Michael, Seek, John Dye, Oliver, Palace fan. The nice thing is I'm seeing a lot of regulars. I'm seeing a lot of regulars, man. So
appreciate that.
All for taking the time to join us once again, and look forward to seeing you all Tuesday for the match and the match reaction on there. All right. So always and forever, up the Palace.
Eagles.